Sunday, Miami. This is Peter Zalewski. I'm a condo consultant. I'm an expert witness. I'm also the founder of the Miami Condo Investing Club. Today is Sunday. It's the third day of my 3-day Black Friday condo tour. Been out looking at projects today. I did it as well as on Friday, as well as on Saturday. So when I did it on Friday, I did Pickle Avenue area. Yesterday, I did in and around Flagler Street, which is in the central business district of Greater Downtown Miami. Today, I'm in the World Center. This is the area that's going to be effectively from what's called the Freedom Tower, or about 6th Street, all the way up to about 11th Street or so. Call it the MacArthur Causeway. Wandering around, this is really the concentration of where all the new condo towers are going up right now in Greater Downtown Miami. We do have another going up in Edgewater, also Midtown to a certain extent, maybe Wynwood, but really the lion's share of everything coming up in this central business district, and especially the Miami Worldcenter. Miami Worldcenter is one of these areas where you get 24/7 liquor licensing. There's also a place where some casinos were proposed during the Great Recession. Ultimately, they never got built. But a number of new condo towers did get built. So I'm going to do a little walking tour for you. I've already checked out some projects. Now I'm just going to kind of do a wrap up. I want to give you a perspective about the density that's coming in this particular area. A lot of these towers I'm going to show you, they're going to be 50 stories tall or so. They're all at least 300 units, some close to 500 units. So, seeing is believing. And I think you're really going to sort of enjoy this. Again, I'm probably going to walk from about, let's call it 6th Street up till about 12th Street. So at about 6 blocks north and south. And then my little rectangle that I walk is only going to be about maybe 2 blocks east to west. So I'm going to start off going north, then I will go east, then I'm going to head south, and then I'll circle back and go north. So let me give you a little glimpse of kind of what we're seeing here. I'm going to reverse it. And again, Substack doesn't have a great app for a phone. You can't see anything. Difficult. So hopefully I don't hit end like I did on Friday. Here we go. So we're giving you a little glimpse here. You're seeing in the distance a series of towers. Most of these are rentals, although there are some condos. We're going to end up over there. And we're going to go this way over here. See some high rises. I'll give you some details on that. Oh, there you go. You see some vultures sort of circling. Turkey vultures are in town right now because it is the winter buying season. So that means it must have got cold up north. So starting off with a project over here called the Madison. It's 2 towers. And what's interesting about these 2 towers, a few things. One, look at the balconies. These are rail balconies. Typically, when you see rail, that means it is a rental or a cheap condo. This building's been going through its 40-year recertification, and I guess they didn't have enough cash to put glass in. Glass is the most desirable, but they did not have that. Another thing to look at is notice where the floors began in terms of the rentals, or the condos. Floors start on the 2nd floor, maybe even the 1st floor. Typically, the way they build these towers is they built like what you're seeing here, where the first 8 floors will be a parking garage. On the outside, they'll put some units or retail, and then the tower goes up above. This particular building, because it's probably circa 1980s, it doesn't have the parking garage. Instead, the parking garage is going to be centralized in the back. I don't know if we'll get a glimpse of it, but it's kind of set apart. So it's really an underutilized, obsolete type of design. Nope, can't really make it out from there. Maybe we can make it out from this angle. The only reason I'm highlighting this is it gives you some context. There we go. You guys can see it maybe in the distance. See that parking garage? See how it's located there? You'll see some blocks, white blocks or white bars. That's going to be the parking garage. So it's actually separate from the building, where normally that's parking garage, that's the building. Normally they build it this way, where you have the garage at the bottom and then the building, the actual residential on top. So before we start, let me point out something you may or may not be aware of. This is called the network access point of the Americas. You'll see some glimpses of it as I'm wandering around. But this network access point of the Americas is effectively where the undersea cables come in for the United States. These cables are going to be coming in from Europe, as well as Latin America and the Caribbean. This is owned by Verizon. A condo developer actually left condo development about 20 years ago and went into building these NAPS, they're called, Network Access Point of the Americas. You guys get a good glimpse of it. You don't really see anything. What it is effectively a bunch of servers. Number of different entities are located here, including the Federal Reserve, as well as U.S. Southern Command, the U.S. military. So it's kind of located in this area, which for a long time was kind of a no-go zone. This is where Camille's house was. This is also where you had basically a huge homeless population. Now it's all been shifted over west of the highway, and it is turning into what is the World Center. In the distance, you'll see the Paramount Miami Worldcenter, and the sister project is right over here called Legacy. See where these cranes are? Well, at least the base of one crane on the left, and then another crane on the right. Well, this project's run into some financial problems. It's supposed to be somewhere in the vicinity of 40 to 50 stories tall, and Kindle stopped. There were some court hearings going on. I'm not going to say exactly what, because people get a little bit sensitive about the situation, but let's just say it's in the court process. So the construction's been stopped there for quite some time. So anybody tells you that everything is humming and there's nothing to worry about and they're building and there's buyers, well, here's an example where it's not the case. That's a project called Legacy. It's all been reported in the press. You look into it, you'll be able to get some more details on it, and it can be attributed to someone else rather than me. You'll see some of the older generation products. These are rentals. See some rentals around here. You see how big this site is going to be for this Legacy project, if and when it gets completed. In the distance, you'll see high rises. Those are all fronting Biscayne Boulevard. I'm about 2 blocks west of Biscayne. Biscayne is where the SAS Center is. That's where the Miami Heat plays its football game. Oh, excuse me, basketball games, not football games. And what you're looking at in front of you now is 2 towers that are named after a cabaret or well, it used to be a strip joint. Now they're calling it a cabaret. It's a music venue. It's called Club 11. So these are the 2 condo towers from 11. They'll be set to come online sometime soon. They probably should have been online already, but stuff happens. They give you a nice glimpse of the 2 11 towers. To the right of that, there's going to be Biscayne Boulevard. That will be the Marquee. Next to that is going to be 10 Museum. Next to that is the 1000 Museum. Then we'll see in the distance Marina Blue, and behind that is 900 Biscayne. So you've seen a site of checking out this site. We're continuing to the north. And if we were to go down this way, you will get the Bright Line, which is a private rail that goes from Miami to Orlando. It's also where Overtown is. Overtown was the African-American community that for the longest time was running into disrepair, but now all the developers that come in and are basically regentrifying it. So they're changing the whole vibe of Overtown. Overtown got its name because it was an African-American community, and they brought the interstate here. What they do, they drove it right through the heart of the African-American community, and hence the name Overtown. It had a different name prior to that, but I'm just not going to say it on video. There we go. Here's a sales office, and we have our customary gallo or chicken. This is a sales office actually for a project that's going up in the Wynwood area. Wynwood is going to be farther north, probably about 10 blocks or so. You can see some of the old historical buildings that were around here for quite some time. And it looks like we got a new renter tower going up. All part of the Miami Worldcenter. You can see the original. Back in the day, this used to be a real popular hangout for the homeless people. They sleep under here. And across the street, we now have pizza joints. And we got the infamous Corner Lounge, a place that basically has 24/7 liquor license. Everybody's out and ready to drink again, sitting on the corner. We'll get a glimpse of some of the development occurring. Straight ahead is going to be the MacArthur Causeway. That's the road that takes you from South Beach to the airport. So South Beach would be that way. Airport would be that way. Here we go. We got a nice glimpse of the corner. Sunday afternoon, they're all partying. That's a shot going towards Brickell. And then here is the 11, Club 11. Again, was originally a strip joint. Then the group out of New York came in. They knocked down, the place was called Gold Rush. They knocked it down and they built this facility, 3-story high cabaret. It's evolved since then. Still has the cabaret aspect, but it's no longer what it was. Now it's turned into more of a music venue. A lot of artists come here and they'll like release tracks and everything here. They'll perform. So it's turned into a very popular type of place. And then based on the Club 11, we have 2 condo towers with hotel components. And right in between that, you have Club Space. Club Space was an early adopter here. It's the electronic music, and it's been popular forever and ever and ever. How do you know when it closes? Well, when the sun comes up. So that's Club Space. It came around in and around when Ultra was first getting going here. They had something called the Winter Music Conference. So all these DJs would come in, things were happening, ultimately led to Ultra, but Club Space was kind of at the forefront of it. And then we have our 11 next to it, transformer station, all the electricity. On the other side of the causeway, you'll see a number of rental towers that have gone up. Turn around, give you a little glimpse of where we just came from. There you go, straight back. You're going to see the rental tower. You'll see the bridge in the distance. That will be what takes you to the Bright Line station, also to Government Center in and around that area, and as well as Overtown. There you go. You got some people dining at the restaurant up on the 3rd floor of the cabaret. Supposedly the food is good, but who knows? You guys are getting good perspective about kind of what's coming, what it's all about. They launched these towers during part of the pandemic. We're promoting the Club 11, which I think they have their own vodka line now. It's almost become like a big staple for branding. Club 11 is turned into really quite something from what I understand. So that's your 11 condo towers. Another glimpse. Like I said, we're 2 blocks west of Biscayne Boulevard. This used to be pretty much a no-go zone. And they're starting to fill in the blanks again. A driving force is the 24/7 liquor license capabilities. You'll see the Marquee, you'll see the 10 Museum, you see the 1000 Museum. Then you're going to see 900 Biscayne. Then you got Marina Blue. Then the distance where you see like it says Sky X, that'll be the Elser. And we got our Paramount, and we got some rental towers that are all kind of fit in, stuck in. This is an ornamental piece. It's for the double decking of the MacArthur Causeway. Some people are calling it the Fountain Bridge. Other people are calling it the Spider Bridge or the Tarantula Bridge. Call it what you want. It's an ornamental piece that is part of the shifting of the causeway, the MacArthur Causeway. We would take it to the west. You would get to where the double decking is going on of the road. And the reason you had the ornamental part is right behind it is the Adrian Arts Center. So there was a movement to try to create a marquee type of symbolic symbol. Symbolic and symbol is the same thing, but basically a symbol of Miami, just like Sydney has its opera house. Well, this piece supposedly will reflect Miami in the future. So when you see these arches that are going up, ultimately it's going to be about, I think I read like somewhere in the vicinity of 3 years late. Price tag on that is, last I heard, 700 million or so in order to do that as part of the overall road. But they're shifting the road. You can see they're raising it in the distance from where it was originally. As part of raising it, they're kind of letting more light, and they were going to put in a park, but that funding has been canceled by President Trump because it connects historically Black community, the downtown, and there was allegations that it was DEI, so it's been canceled. They're going to build this they're going to build this flyover, and it will not turn into a park with federal money. What they do with it, I'm sure they'll spend some money and they'll get some stuff done, but it's not what originally was going to be planned. You guys get a nice little sense of what the time or the skyline was supposed to be. That's all looking from the north looking south. So that would be looking down to kind of where we're standing to get a good glimpse. You see the parkland and stuff like that. That's the money that's been cut by the federal government because it was labeled DEI. We'll get another sense here looking at top 11 towers, 1 and 2. 1 is going to be on the west side, and then 2 will be on the east side. You can see the